very sad day for us all with the loss of our wonderful friend, colourful friend, Richard Mason, who I guess hundreds and hundreds of thousands of viewers and listeners will share with us, but one of the most unique and colourful broadcasters of all time. And of course, for all of us, a very good friend and a companion for many, many years. But I guess, Drew, the match has got to go on, and it starts now.
Yes, Essendon kicking left to right in the first quarter. And over goes Jimmy Cracker. Play on rules the umpire. North going forward. Good use of the body by Johnston. Paddle forward by McRae. Nobody getting a kick yet. And now a free kick, and it goes to North Melbourne to be taken by Dean McRae. And we'll make the point. He was recruited from Queensland, but he comes from Rosebud down on the peninsula.
And out in front, the opportunity for Larkin, a very slick one over towards half-forward, Phil Cracker. There should have been a free kick that time against Hurd. Hurd's kick is smothered. Bouncing towards the boundary line, right on the line. Hickey keeps it in play. Jim Cracker fights for it. Or is it Phil? It's Phil Cracker. And eventually the umpire's whistle blows and indicates the free kick will go to North, and I think they richly deserved that one. It is Philip Cracker.
And as we saw at the start, Phil Cracker starred in this game last year with a couple of brilliant goals, one which was the goal of the season. There he goes with that awkward-looking left foot kicking style. Past Winton it goes. Jim Cracker, kick smothered by Walsh, up to full forward. McCann paddles backwards, 45 metres out. Hurried kick forward by Larkin. Down goes Robertson. Bomber Thompson met by Jonas. Pretty tough in there. Umpire sorts it out with the ball up.
It is tough, and Bomber Thompson really felt that one. He's just caught out of camera, but in trouble. I think he's okay, but that was a hefty bunk by Peter Jonas. North doing all the attacking. Steve McCann takes up the role of ruckman now. Madden wins it. Driven out wide towards the boundary line. Dribbles over the line from David Johnson that's out of bounds on the outer side, but still North in attack.
The Bombers starting with Stephen Clark and Darryl Cunningham on the bench, and the Kangaroos with Peter German and Sean Smith. Mossop goes up against Madden, comes to the back. Crocker, number 27, and Keith Gregg's old number. Gets the hand pass back to Mossop, drives it long and high. McCann works to the front. Winton with him, comes off hands, chance here. Robertson goals! Good start for North, 2.5 minutes into the game.
Bomber Thompson, who is picking up Robertson, took that hefty bump in those opening minutes, and he is limping quite a lot there. We can see him on the screen there, number 26, and of course he has to chase after Robertson, and we can see he's a little bit proppy, and that enabled Robertson then to get his foot to the ball to kick a very clever goal.
Madden and Mossop. Mossop wins it, taken by Wallace. Good tackle. Eventually Robertson again down towards the half-forward line. It's good play, Jim Cracker and Thompson. Thompson gathers well, Jim Cracker tackles him. And has bustled over the line as brother Philip comes in to give some assistance as well. But Bomber Thompson really is full of heart and courage.
It's interesting also, Doug, that Sheedy's elected to tag Phil Cracker with Shane Hurd and not Jimmy Cracker.
At ground level, Hamilton up short of the wing. Running onto this is Mossop. Loses it in the tackle. McDonald goes backwards. McRae up towards centre half forward. Crocker. Oh, there's a free kick.
Hickey.
And advantage is not going to be paid here, as Steele was bolting away with the ball in his 50th game, but it's coming back to Stephen Hickey in between the centre and half forward.
Hickey looks for McCann. McCann's lead is a good one, but over the top it goes away from him. A left foot snap by Johnny Law. High in there it went, punched down. Racing it after is Hawker, or is it Bailey now? And eventually it's pushed and shoveled over the line out of bounds. And again, Kevin, they're doing all the attacking, North.
Yes, they are, Doug, and they're smaller players already at ground level that we can see the ball is going to come to the ground most of the time tonight, and North Melbourne small men have been in good form.
Walsh tries to crash through. Ball comes back to him as he ran into a brick wall. Well played. Up to the wing. Folds in the middle of the pack. Comes to Steele. Oh, great pickup by Smith. And a good kick to half forward. And an excellent mark taken at left half forward for the Kangaroos. Love. By Jason Love. couple of games ago. Kicked 6-4 in the last quarter against the Swans. Here's McCann outmarking Winton from behind. And Steve McCann, who was brilliant last week when North bolted away from Hawthorn in the first quarter to lead by 7 goals. McCann kicked 4 in the first term, and this could mean a good start for him again tonight. 5 minutes into the game, and a beautiful kick by McCann. North have 2 on the board and lead 12 points to nothing.
And every time I've seen North Melbourne this year, I think you'll agree, Doug, Steve McCann has been a darn good player, whether he's been at full forward or whether he's been shifted into defence, which he's had to do a couple of times. And Jason Love, who kicked those miraculous 6 goals to take the game away from the Swans, is on the field. And we see McCann there in that bumping duel with Winton, but he's easily outmanoeuvred Sugar Winton, the former Richmond player who kicked over, well, nearly 100 goals playing in the under-19s when he was at Tigerland. But the good news for Essendon was the fact that if McCann can mark, so can Big Salmon and Danaher down the other end of the ground.
Yes, the astonishing thing was that McCann early in the season was dropped after being second in their best and fairest. Trevor Spencer goes to the ground and will take a free kick at centre bounce. Boots it out very wide looking for Keane. Keane in a long run is pursued by Steele. Big, wide, wheeling turn. Short pass back towards the centre, and it's nicely done, and the mark is easily taken by Darren Williams. Now, Williams is only between centre wing and half-forward flank, so a long way out. Chooses to kick it very long, looking for the height of Salmon. Salmon in front, one-handed. Out wide and underneath it, Keane again. Tackled high around the neck, no. Bounce.
He could have been a bit unlucky then, I felt, Doug.
He might have been too, Kev.
Looked as if he was caught a bit high.
Well, until Essendon went forward then, North had 14 kicks to 5 in the opening 6 minutes of the game. Harris, 26. Clears a path for Larkin. Comes back to Robertson. He's kicked one of their 2 goals. Up to Spargo. Short of centre wing. Love is there. Comes from him to Johnston. Centering kick is good. Too high for Keane, though. Wallace. Met by Hickey, and the umpire will ball it up on the 50-metre line.
On the 50-metre line with Essendon in attack, slightly toward the grandstand side. And is picked up by Izzard now as a free kick is given. It's big call, Salmon. Salmon short, and a lovely interception there by Ross Smith.
Smith goes wide towards the half-back flank, putting it out in front of Steele, who's racing after this. But he won't get there before it goes out of bounds. Good chase on there between Dean Bailey and Steele. We had quite heavy rain leading up to the game, but it started in fine conditions and then just a light drizzle for a minute or so a couple of minutes ago. Now it's fine. Here's a free kick. And holding the ball was the decision against Crocker. And the kick taken from centre wing up towards Danaher, who's playing at full forward. He played at full back for Victoria. Comes off to McDonald, goes to Mossop, who kicks over the wing. Fairley is there. A fickle bounce for him. Walsh, Fairley keeps it in. No, he doesn't. Just over the line, and we'll have a throw in between the wing and half forward. North just into attack.
And Spencer is on the field, and of course Roger Merritt is not out there for the Bombers tonight, so Spencer, named as an emergency, has come into the side.
What a huge loss that is, and doing well was Fairley that time. Centre wing, Ross Smith again to Steele. Steele's kick is smothered. A long punch is 35 metres down, and over the back it goes again. Phil Cracker now leads in the race, gets a lovely bounce. Dodges Wallace, steadies and kicks for goal, and hits the post. The dazzling Cracker, beautiful run, and missed what he would normally get.
Well, he's got the best tagger in the league playing on him in Shane Hurd, and already he's had a couple of touches and looks decisively dangerous. So it's a good sign for North Melbourne, because Hurd in the past has been able to blanket the Cracker brothers when he's played on them.
Winton straight up the ground to Walsh. Off hands to Francis, and putting it out wide to Keane. And to Salmon, right in front, 40 out.
And a great kick by young Keane.
And Sheedy has made things a bit tough for Gavin Keane, but every time I see him, he gets the ball all the time.
Well, he's their top possession getter for the year in the whole side.
He was their best a few weeks ago, and 2 weeks ago later he was dropped.
And brought back into the side when an Essendon player pulled out.
Well, maybe Paul Salmon proving there that the big fellas will have a chance tonight. Marking overhead. Salmon's kick is good. The Bombers' first score at the 10-minute mark. They trail by 7 points.
Well, I can always remember watching Paul Salmon in the grand final in 1985 after being out for most of the year and kicking those 6 goals and looking such a fabulous player, and I'm glad to see him back at full forward for Essendon. And that's just typical of Salmon. So tall, 6'9", too tall, too strong then, and possibly too talented for the North Melbourne defenders. And if you get the ball quickly down to Salmon, we've seen his talent in the past. He could be just a fantastic success at full forward.
Yes, well, I guess you've had a few conversations with Kevin Shooty about that, but he will so often put him back in the ruck after he's done well there. Mossop, Jim Cracker, down to brother Phil. Hurds against him. Hand pass to Walsh. Walsh caught with a very high tackle and will take the free kick. And Walsh playing pretty well at the moment. Out to Winton. Winton will look for Izzard. Izzard, the high leaper, even though he's the little man of the pack. Well played, John Law. Izzard off the ground and kicked off the ground by Jim Cracker again. In front is Walsh having a great quarter. Out wide it goes, and a free kick I thought might have gone to Cracker. Walsh again in the thick of play to Winton, to Foles, and Foles takes the mark at centre wing position.
Gary Foles goes long in the direction of Salmon. 2 against him in the middle of the pack. Comes back to him, but he fumbled. Then toe pokes it off the ground. Chance here for Keane if he can pick it up. Running out of room. Oh, he did well to beat the diving tackle. Back to Salmon, who tried to volley it through. Izzard! And Izzard has kicked a goal. A bit of a scramble, but they've kicked the last 2 goals in the space of about 90 seconds.
That was clever play by Salmon, who in the first place kicked the ball off the ground. That was very clever play. That's Maradona stuff. Out to Keane. And also good play by Keane, because a lot of players may have kicked hurriedly there, but he was pretty cool under the pressure, and Salmon was a bit unlucky there, maybe not actually kicking the goal with that kick off the ground, but the ever alert Izzard finished it off.
Salmon's looked dangerous. Madden wins this one. Folds again to centre wing position. Punched away there nicely by Francis. Wallace. Salmon again's got the run on it. And lovely roving this time. Picked up there by Darren Williams. Out wide and Steele running with the flight of the ball takes a beauty.
Yes, congratulations on his 50th game. He's played sensational football in the last month or so. And there's a magnificent mark by Simon Madden, and it's terrific to see him back after a back injury which looked like crippling him just about for the season. Up towards Salmon. It's punched away. Phil Cracker, front of the pack. Oh, was that a throw? Umpire said no, it was a hand pass. Goes to Crocker. Good bounce for him. Penetrating kick to half forward. Beauty! Underneath it was Jonas. Hamilton. Still a chance for Jonas as he runs on. But it's rushed over the line by Walsh, who's had a good first turn, and a throw in alongside the behind post.
Well, an avid watcher tonight will be Wayne Schimmelbusch, we believe just out of hospital. Good luck, Shimmer. Lovely to hear you're watching and hope you're doing well. We're dying to see you back on the field again. Here's a chance now for a kick off the ground out wide, and it's picked up there by Fairley. Fairley's hand pass. Back it comes in his direction, but it's all the time going out to the 50-metre mark. Turns and twists. Jimmy Cracker gave the lead. Phil calls for it. Jim Cracker in front. Follows on. It's taken away from him by McRae. He turns and twists and left foots it beautifully to Crocker. It was Love who got that to Crocker, and that was excellent football.
No, right the first time. Was McRae.
McRae.
McRae, was it?
Yeah.
Sorry. And Darren Crocker, when he kicks, will be about 45 metres from goal. And the Cracker brothers have been very prominent in the opening moments of this quarter. We're just about the half-time mark. 14 minutes gone. Crocker now. What a fine-looking kick it is. It's a beautiful kick in these breezy conditions. There was quite a lot of rain before the match started, and that really was a classical kick by Darren Crocker.
And under the conditions, a terrific mark, because we have had quite a bit of rain before the start of the game. We see McRae there showing good skills and taking the ball out in front, Crocker, and that's an area young kids can watch, because if he had have attempted to mark that on his chest, it was for certain that ball would have been punched away. But arms extended way out in front, eyes on it and took a very, very good mark. And a beautiful kick to cap it all off.
Umpires in charge tonight, Ian Robinson and Dennis Rich. Ball up goes North's way. McRae, number 19. And he does look a top player. Loses this in the tackle to Walsh. Another hand pass out to Madden. 5 possessions for Walsh now. Up to centre half forward. Steele. No mark paid. Larkin off the ground up towards centre wing. Difficult ball to handle. And it's virtually kicked out of the hands there by Bailey. And now under a big pack. They're coming from everywhere. And Hawker goes in. He hasn't had too many touches, Glenn Hawker, but he congratulated his teammates there for forcing that ball up.
There's certainly been some instructions there from the coaches tonight. Kick off the ground if in doubt. Jimmy Cracker's kicked a couple of very long ones off the ground. Madden and Mossop doing well in the punch downs, not in general play. Always picked up about 3 touches. And there's Hawker again on top. Donald McDonald and Robertson, who kicked the first goal.
Not quite as big a pack around this ball up as I've seen in some games this year. Spencer gets it down. Hawker can't get a kick again. And Spargo, number 31, in there. And umpire Robinson having to do the work all over again.
He's certainly doing a lot of work. With North Melbourne 3-1 to Essendon 2 goals. It's about centre wing on the outer side of the ground. Mossop again down. Can't find a rover. Chance now. John Mossop again, taken away from him by Bailey. All over the top of him was Hickey. And Bailey's going to take the free kick, and I think umpire decided to clear the mess a little. Picked at the first one he could. Here's Terry Danaher's first chance for a mark. Almost held it long enough. Simon Madden got in the way. Foles is with the ball. Out to Danaher. Danaher downfield. In front is Harris. Marks on his chest.
At half-back for North. Out towards the wing for Peter Jonas, playing his first game this year. And he kicks it away from Hamilton. Almost kicked Hamilton away as well. Comes into Smith. That's great play by Jonas. And a good pass by Smith to half forward, but Walsh starring on the back line for the Bombers.
Sensational mark over Fairley. A very good pass to Daisy Williams. Williams at centre half back. Out to Foles. John Mossop comes late on the scene. Foles, wonderful mark from this experienced player. Drives it looking for Danaher. Danaher in front. That's a beauty. Went like a bullet. Johnny Law's his opponent, and Danaher stood resolute against the strength of Law and takes a fine mark. That's his second mark. Kicks it long, looking for Salmon down there in the square. Salmon backing into it. Off the hands of the pack it goes. Harris is there. Larkin in trouble was Keane, and great interception by Steele. Out of trouble back towards centre wing, and a nice third mark to Mr. Danaher.
Danaher, Bomber skipper, up towards centre half forward. Punch down, here goes Hawker. Their best and fairest last year. Robertson kicks across the half back line. It comes to Spargo, up towards the centre of the ground. Jimmy Cracker, terrific handling. Look out, you're in trouble. Oh, pops it out wide to Law. Great stuff. And on to Love, bouncing for Phil Cracker. Goes to Spargo, 40 metres out right in front. What a goal by North.
And that was fantastic play by North Melbourne. Spargo's been playing across the half-back line. He followed that ball all the way down. First of all, we saw Jimmy with that very nifty little left-foot kick, and then, of course, Phil with that tap onto Spargo. And that great kick because he was under pressure with the Essendon player boring down onto him. But Spargo has been a very, very good player in this opening quarter.
That's what a delightful little tap on from that magic Philip Cracker. Mossop beaten that time by Madden. Spencer then hits it out further. Law down towards the half-forward flank. Underneath it, Walsh doing brilliantly against Fairley. Fairley won't give up, neither will Walsh. Bomber Thompson onto left foot and kicks it very well to Williams. Williams will wait. Was going to go on, but wisely chose not to.
Fourth kick to Daisy Williams. Up to centre half forward. Too long for Danaher. Mossop was paid a free kick perhaps. Out to Steele quickly. On they go, and running through the middle is Larkin. Low kick to McCann. but it clears him. Will it go for goal? Jonas running onto it. Goes in to apply the tackle, and Hurd, the stopper, gets himself a possession with a hand pass to Walsh, who's getting himself about a dozen possessions. Well, he will in a moment. Oh, well played out to Keane, who finds space all the time.
He certainly does. On half-back flank is Keane. What a good kick to Hawker. Hawker misses a difficult one with the greasy ball. 2-1 against Ross Smith, but Ross Smith does it very well and gets an affectionate, warm, congratulatory pat on the back, and the ball will be bounced.
Bailey off and Stephen Clark coming on for the Bombers. 20.5 minutes into the first quarter. Tap bit too strong for the Rovers. In goes McRae for it. Ball slips out. The umpire will ball it up again. North 4-1 to the Bombers. 2 straight goals, approaching 21 minutes.
And Stephen Clark onto the ground, Victorian Rover last year, and Dean Bailey off for the Bombers.
Well done, Jim Cracker again. Hand passes out into open territory. Wallace has got the opportunity, and he slithers over the line from a push from Crocker. Umpire decides it'll be a throw-in.
Wallace, just a youngster, playing in his first season of league football. Tap comes down, it's taken by Folds, who gets it clear with strength. On to Stephen Clark, who's got a bit of pace. Kick off his shin, though. Or is that a free kick against Larkin? It is, in the back. And here's Gavin Keane again. Whether it's a half forward or half back, he keeps on getting it. 6 possessions.
Looks for Salmon. Salmon the leaper. Jonas out wide. Hickey pulled around the neck by Spencer. Hickey plays on quickly. John Law sends it downfield looking for Robertson. Robertson jockeys. Hurd back to Robertson. Robertson out wide with an awkward one. Shane Hurd, strong play. Taken away brilliantly there. Jimmy Cracker then steals it and gets it out to the flank. A short pass to Steve McCann is too short. McCann takes it past the 50-metre line. Fairly on the line. Hand passes back into open territory. Jim Cracker, courageous stuff against Thompson. Picked up by Spargo. Back it comes towards centre-half forward, and you'll be caught, and it's low, and it's a McRae. McRae is caught. Winton can't break away. Oh, and there's a chance of a free kick to Winton. Over the neck.
John Dugdale and John Kennedy, as Winton takes the kick from centre-half back. A short one to Salmon. Up to Walsh, centre of the ground. Ooh, crash, loses it. Oh, but he paddles it delightfully to Williams. And a long kick by Williams. Oh, and an excellent mark by Harris in defence. Salmon was no hope to get near that, but Harris dragged it in with long arms.
Very adventurous fullback is Harris. What a fine pass it was out to Ross Smith. Ross Smith on half-back flank. His 4th possession. Robertson the target again, and he's going to win it too. Oh, well, there'll be some rude messages going out there to his opponent, who's making space very nicely. 6th possession. Robertson downfield. Stephen McCann. A big leap. Over the back it goes. Love was there, but eventually Francis takes it through. And there's Kevin Schutte shaking his head. Your old mate, KB.
Well, he'd have a bit to be concerned about at the moment, because North Melbourne are handling the conditions better and have by far the better players.
That's a top mark. Would you pay it? I would have, I think. But comes off hands to Walsh again. Larkin in the centre of the ground and pushed out. And Larkin will take the free kick. Matthew Larkin from just forward of the centre, just to the right of the centre circle. 5th possession for him, up short of full forward. Thompson slips it away to Stephen Clark. Kick back over the centre. Too high for Danaher. Comes to the back to Izard. One out is Salmon with Harris. The kick a bit wide and skims across the wet turf and goes out of bounds in the forward pocket.
It's interesting looking at the tactics of North Melbourne, with Spargo, who usually plays on that centre line or on the forward line. Larkin also in defence, and Steele in defence. Quick players, running players, and they're rebounding across that half-back line and moving the ball very, very quickly. And it seems to be a very good tactic that's paying off for North Melbourne this opening quarter.
Terry Danaher, and Law flattens him. It was Ross Smith again. Ross Smith, for the 3rd time for the season, have I seen him come in with a very high bump. There it is again. We saw him get Wilson, and that's the 3rd time this season have we seen Smith with a pretty doubtful bump, very high up, And here, one of the greatest personalities and characters in the game, Terry Danaher, took it with his usual courage and goes back from the 50-metre mark to shoot for goal. Kicks it high, won't quite make it. Good punch by Mossop, and it's out of bounds. Well, he's done it a few times, Kevin, that Ross Smith.
Well, he's been a strong player in this opening quarter. He's had the job of picking up Glenn Hawker, the best and fairest winner for the Bombers last year. And he's a very, very vigorous player, and he's done his job quite well tonight so far. And Hawker is a very dangerous player.
And would you believe Terry Danaher gives the hand pass straight to the man who got him, Smith. Back to the centre of the ground to Phil Cracker. He goes long, 55 metres. It clears McCann. Jim Cracker with pace. Oh, what a pickup by Winton. And a little left footer. Bounced just inside the line, and we'll have a throw. And that was great play by Winton.
I can remember, Drew, when I was at Richmond in my last year, Sugar Winton was a youngster on the way up, but he was one of the quickest players at the club. Over 50 or 60 metres, he was in the top 3 or 4. So he's very, very quick for his size.
Here's Gary Foles, caught by Jim Cracker with a super tackle. And the umpire says the ball was held to him. But he must have been very quick, because that just going back to Winton, because Jim Cracker's got amazing speed, and he kept with him and then scooped it up one hand. That was really classical football by the fullback. Another bounce.
And a big thump towards goal, helped further afield by Larkin. Good gather by McCann. Back he goes with a hand pass, and a left foot shot by Jonas. Floats away to the pocket and goes off hands and out of bounds in the forward pocket. And Essendon have made another change, so they've used all their 20 so far. About 90 seconds ago, Hamilton off, and on came Daryl Cunningham, former Saint.
And Salmon's on the ball. Out towards Clark, who slips. And there'll be another throw in. Well, it didn't take long. Simon Madden, well, I guess having a rest at this stage. He's done a lot of work late in the quarter. Give him a few moments rest. Steve McCann over the back. And as Spargo hooks it, but hooks it too far. And that's a behind. North Melbourne, 4-3, Essendon, 2 goals straight.
Talking of Daryl Cunningham, that was a terrific recruiting story, Daryl Cunningham. Kevin Sheedy was out at VFL Park at a night game earlier in the season, and Cunningham was doing stats for a curtain raiser. And Sheedy just said, what are you doing? He said, oh, I've got the flick from St Kilda. And here he is playing league football for the Bombers. A centering kick here by Crocker to centre half forward. Up very high was Fairley. Francis struggling for a possession. In goes Hurd. And the umpire says he'll ball it up. This is about 30 metres out from goal. North into attack. And we're about 2 3/4 minutes into time on.
Very difficult conditions for the umpire. They've just got to ball it up, and that gives big hungry packs, which often leads to another ball up. Here's an illustration of it, picked up by Williams. Williams back towards the centre of the ground. A great leap from behind by Clark. Opportunity for a pick-up by Steele, and Steele kicks it very badly that time. It's over the line, out of bounds.
2 games ago, 40 possessions, Darren Steele.
And 30 last week, so he's had 2 wonderful weeks.
Francis with the free kick. Walsh in front. Punch down to Williams. Towards the centre. Law charges at it and marks. And is met head on, and down he goes. Well, last time he played here at night, he copped one from Dale Waitman. That was a 3-week holiday for the Flea. Here's John Law. Long, just short of full forward. Daisy Williams roving well again. Maybe the Bombers' small men are picking up a bit in the last week or 2. And a great kick to Danaher.
Yes, I think that's right, Drew. Certainly Williams is back to form. Look out, Bomber Thompson. Whoa, down for the second time. He recovers well. That was really courageous football.
That was Smith again.
Out it goes to Cunningham. Cunningham downfield, and the mark is taken by Hawker. And that was Ross Smith again, was it?
Yep. Launched himself virtually horizontal. Great pass here. Sliding attempt by Madden. No mark. Keeps the ball in. And Robertson happy to see it out in the back pocket. And there's the siren for quarter time. And it's a 15-point lead to North Melbourne. Not quite as big as they led Hawthorn at quarter time last week, but it's 4-3-27 North to the Bombers. 2 straight goals, 12 points. And for
a little problem with the sound from our commentators at the MCG at the moment as we see the ball carried forward and over the line. Wait the boundary throw in. Watching this match, of course, from the MCG, North Melbourne and Essendon. The start of round 12. Ball loose on the ground, pretty slippery. Spargo there with the ball. No, Robertson, that is. Rowan Robertson. Unable to get the ball forward. And again, over the boundary line, as we see one of the Essendon players heading toward the dressing rooms. Comes out again. Essendon kicked high. Walker underneath it, as is Madden. Neither of them able to take the mark. Kicked off the ground, coming through Matthew Larkin with the ball. Drives it further afield, up toward Phil Cracker. Unable to trap the ball. Knocked forward. Hawker in plenty of trouble. Gets the ball forward. Daisy Williams in there for Essendon at the bottom of the pack. Managing to scoop it out. Cracker again gets it out of the pack. Pretty scrappy play at this stage. Darren Williams trying to get it away. Captured again. Comes wide this time to Hawker. Hawker gets a short one in. It was a throw. And the free kick will go to Spargo. Spargo for North Melbourne up toward the half-forward position. Ball loose on the ground again. Darren McRae. No, it's Crocker coming in. Phil Cracker this time. In the race to the ball. Nobody able to capture it. Comes out wide. Bomber Thompson with it. Breaks away. Manages to get the short kick in. And that's effective. Goes to Trevor Spencer. Spencer handballs wide. Sloppy handball there. Nonetheless, the situation has been saved as the Bombers come forward. Put the ball down toward the forward pocket. Salmon leading in the race to the ball. Taps it back cleverly. Alan Ezard getting in there at the bottom of the pack. Danaher unable to get it away. Scrimmage of players. Ball up would be a pretty good decision at this stage.
And now picking up play in the second quarter, which has been underway for a couple of minutes. Just a slight technical fault there, but there's been no score in the second quarter, so you've missed absolutely nothing. 15-point lead to North Melbourne, and here it's the Bombers into attack. It goes to Hawker, who's had very few touches, and from near the boundary line, Salmon hooks back towards the goal square, but Harris is there to mark before Izard could come in and compete.
Well, Harris has been Salmon's opponent, so that's pretty cheeky when he lets him get away that far. Long kick out towards the half-back flank. Crocker got there first, taken by the elusive Foles. Foles then drives it down towards the flank with an excellent pass, but at the last moment Keane was spoilt and the ball is pushed over the line out of bounds.
4-3-27 North. Essendon 2 straight goals. Stephen Clark, number 12. Buried by Larkin in the back, and the free kick to Clark. In between the wing and half forward for Essendon on the outer side, a centering kick towards centre half forward, and a good lead and a fine mark taken by Spencer. Goes in short.
Johnston.
No mark, Johnston. And North Melbourne get it out of defence.
And a beautiful pick up here in the half-back flank. And a long kick downfield by Thompson, who's been very courageous. Steele takes the super one. Back it comes to Kevin Walsh and Fairley. Fairley, a big punch. Here's an opportunity for Robertson. Robertson to open territory in the half-forward flank. And leading is Crocker. Love in front of his opponent. Out wide it goes. Clever play, Love, and then it was fumbled. Fumbled by Jonas, having a bad time. Picked up by Francis. Francis downfield. Johnny Mossop in great position. Misses what he should have taken. A long hand pass comes out to Hickey. Hickey breaks away. Clever it goes across to Larkin. Larkin out wide. And a long kick by Spargo, but mostly height underneath it. The big leap from behind by Madden. And to the ground it comes, and Jonas comes in. Jonas loses it. Hand pass comes out. Intercepted and picked up and shot for goal. Love again, and he's really proved himself a very elusive sharpshooter after that magnificent game against the Swans.
Yes, another goal to Jason Love. That's his first for the night, but it does follow on from that game against the Swans, which looks as if it's given him quite a bit of confidence, because he was a former Essendon player and he would dearly love to play well tonight against his former club after being recruited from Port Melbourne. But it was a great passage of play, Doug, and as you called it, we saw Larkin and Steele, and once again across that half-back line, and Spargo. It's a good move, I feel, by John Kennedy, having those running players coming off the half-back flank and driving the ball quickly and deep down into that forward zone.
Now a 21-point lead. Cunningham gets the ball out here to Francis. Switches play across to the centre circle. Too high for Madden. Crocker with him with 2 27s. Down goes Keane. Chance for McRae. kept his balance well. Onto Larkin, 50 metres out. Azuma. Not quite a Monty Zuma. Behind.
Oh, gee, he was close.
And a very intelligent kick under these conditions, because he knew that that ball would really skid along the ground, and always it will skid straight on a night such as it is being wet.
Yes, his intention was telegraphed. He did it so well. It was bad luck. Then Williams gets the ball downfield. Izzard runs into a barrage of trouble. He's take a free kick. The tackle was high. Back to Williams, he gives it. Williams kicks it out towards centre wing position. Underneath it, Wallace has got the chance. A nice leap by McRae. It was Keane. Dazzling turn by Clark. Clark steadies, sends it long for Salmon. And a beautiful leap by Harris, and thumps it down to the boundary line. And he really is looking good in this second term, is Darren Harris.
It is good play by Harris. We've seen Michael Roach kick 6 goals on him, and we've seen Warwick Kappa also kick half a dozen on him, but tonight he's putting up a pretty good effort against Salmon.
Steele throwing themselves at it. The umpire will ball it up. Just 25 to 30 metres out from goal. Essendon in attack, and they trail by 22 points at the 6.5-minute mark in the second quarter.
Out from Mossop. Nice strong play again, Harris. But unluckily for him, it's going out to Williams. Williams too far out to score, I think. He'll be about 60 metres out when he shoots with his 11th kick. But John Kennedy showing great faith in Harris, and Harris justifying at this stage. Nicely picked up by Robertson. Robertson out wide to Jason Love. Wallace almost took a good one. Got the time now to hits it on cleverly. A long hand pass is not a good one. Free kick. Free kick against Cunningham to Larkin.
And Larkin going out wide with the hand pass to Smith. Good penetrating kick to half forward. Cracker at the back, but it didn't reach him because of Madden. Goes to Walsh, gave it straight away to Crocker. Bumbles the kick along the ground of the forward line. McCann there, but can't keep it in. Good pressure by Winton, and the ball out of play 25 metres around from the behind post.
Darren Crocker, been very useful. Player of great talent. Steve McCann, behind is Francis. Back to the centre of the ground. Donald McDonald underneath it with Spencer beside him. McDonald out wide to Ross Smith. And there's another one down. And down he goes as Clark. And umpire comes in, speaks to McDonald. And McDonald, lucky he was only spoken to, I think. Here comes Clark and sends it downfield.
And a free run at it. Nobody on the mark. Long to Salmon. Great mark, Paul Salmon. At full tilt. And he goes in short, back to Izzard, who marks 25 metres out and goals. Second to Alan Izzard.
Very unselfish play by Paul Salmon. And I think we mentioned before that if you get the ball quickly down to Salmon, that's when he's at his most dangerous, because he's so hard to beat one out. Good play by Clark, who seemed to have no ill effects from that blow from McDonald. And that was a great mark as called, and very good play also to chip it across.
While you're talking, Kev, Simon Madden's coming in and looking at Donald McDonald and saying a few rude words to him, and understandably trying to protect his side. Donald McDonald, who had his 25th birthday just 2 days ago, was lucky not to get a birthday on a holiday out of that one, I reckon. There's Madden, 4 times best and fairest with the Bombers, only exceeded by Hutchison and Reynolds, one of their great players. Into attack go North again. A good punch by Thompson. Out to centre wing position. All good strong play, Lawbert dodged by Cunningham. Cunning out wide, and Williams, back it goes to Hawker. Hawker onto his left foot, kicks it short to Danaher, but the ball's going to slither over the line before Terry can reach it. It's on the half-forward flank and grandstand side. Bombers in attack.
Plays 18. Mossop uncontested. Whoops, that's out of bounds on the full. Not quite. Didn't have much distance with the kick. And off the hands, and now out of bounds for a throw-in. Madden and Mossop, plays getting in the way. Comes to Cunningham. Slips the hand pass away, but ineffective. Jim Cracker bit too quick for his teammate. Moss about wide, a blind hand pass. Izzard. That's a real scramble. Eventually, Darren Williams, for about his dozenth kick, almost a mark to Salmon. At ground level, Law. Chance for Hawker. Stephen Clark ducked his head into the tackle of Harris, but will take a free kick about 20 metres or 15 metres out.
Well, this could be a very lucky one, because let's have a look at it and see whether he actually does duck his head. Maybe that first one from John Law, I think that'd be fair. He did catch him high, and maybe that's what the umpire paid it for, rather than the one where he ducked his head.
And Clark adds another goal. The Bombers have kicked the last two, and Stephen Clark's had 3 free kicks in this quarter. 10 points the difference.
I was going to say he deserved 1 or 2 of them, hasn't he?
Well, he deserved the one in the centre of the ground from Donald McDonald. We saw Clark come across from the amateurs from Bulleen Templestowe. We see him caught high there. I would have paid the very first one, and obviously he deserved a free kick out of the 2 of them. But he came across from Bulleen Templestowe from the amateurs, and immediately made a great impact with the Bombers, and last year played state football.
He deserves full marks for courage in that last few minutes. Hickey gets it out wide. Crocker's met by Francis, picked up by Wallace, dropped as the tackle by Robertson. Out it comes to Hawker. Hawker in trouble, short kick, and luckily goes to Foles. Foles down to the half-forward flank, and Clark underneath it again. Well played. Almost took a good one, and he's sat on. Most affirmatively by Ross Smith. But Stephen Clark has shown a great deal of courage in this second term. He's been buffeted and pushed around, and he's been responsible for a couple of goals.
Just forward to the centre for Essendon. Comes to Hawker. Didn't have time for a kick with Law. And another ball up. Essendon just 10 points behind because of straight kicking. 4 goals straight. North have had 9 scoring shots, but lead by just 10 points. Fault. It's not pretty, is it? That passage. The umpire will ball it up again.
Night football is not pretty. There's too much balling up, too much play on the ground, pack scrimmaging for it. Very difficult to mark the greasy ball, and that's the greatest feature, I think, of our game. Here comes Spargo. Fine pick-up. Left footer. Out to the flank. Francis takes it with him. Wallace comes in. Good, strong play by Fairley. Tackled by Francis, and then accidentally kicked it over the line out of bounds on the full, I think. No, it's going to be thrown in.
And Keane off, and Bailey on for the Bombers.
And Gavin Keane, who had 4 kicks and 2 hand passes in the first quarter. This one up towards McCann, but goes past him to Winton. Now could be in a bit of trouble. Right across that full-back line, and eventually the mark to Johnston, still in the back pocket. Up to half-back flank to Walsh with Fairley. Hawker runs onto it. Good pick-up. Cunningham over the wing. Left footer to centre half forward. Danaher's there, and Madden. No, sorry, it's Trevor Spencer. Too far out to score. Long to full forward. Izzard climbs high. Off the hands, 4 behind.
And Clark was oh so close, roving behind the pack. And I guess that's a position in wet conditions you should be behind the pack quite often, Kevin.
He read it very well, Clark, and also Kevin Sheedy's move of bringing Cunningham on late in that first quarter, I think, is a good one too, because he's pretty quick, Cunningham, and we saw in that last passage of play how he read it very well, sprinted down the field, took it from Hawker, and his kick to Spencer was a good passage of play.
Darren Harris kicks it out of bounds on the full, and the pass to Danaher. He slips and misses a difficult chest mark. Law with it. Law back towards centre wing position. In front, Philip Cracker. Herds his opponent. Good play, Crocker. Francis well done too. And Spargo says, why against me? But it's a free kick to Peter Francis.
And paying 150 tonight. He's been around the world in 80 days at various football clubs. It comes to the back here, not touched. Chest mark to Izzard. 40 metres out from goal. Well, we've seen him take some spectacular marks. He took the mark of the year last year when he jumped all over Justin Madden. At that time, he stayed low to the ground. Not even in the picture there. Well, just right at the back to take the chest mark. And a short pass across the ground has found Simon Madden. And man on the mark, Mossop, about 25 to 30 metres out. This shouldn't be a problem for Simon Madden. That's good. And the Bombers right in touch now, trailing by just 3 points.
Well, they've beaten 3 goals to 1 this quarter, and the play of Williams and Izard and Clark has really lifted in this second quarter and has enabled the Bombers, with their extraordinary straight kicking at this stage, 5-1, to really put them within kicking distance now of North Melbourne. Looks like Kevin Sheedy's got a bit of a Fu Manchu beard growing there. Makes him look pretty fearsome in the box. Wouldn't like to meet Sheeds in the dark alley with that beard on, I tell you that.
Pretty fierce in that back pocket many years ago.
I wouldn't like to meet him clean shaven, I don't think.
Not in the back pocket, no. Any opponent would say that. One of the toughest and one of the roughest. I'm sure KB would agree with me.
I think he's the greatest back pocket player that's played football.
Oh, they cut him out. Gee, you patriotic, you Richmond fellas.
No, I think he was great.
He was, but not that great. Here comes Williams. Williams back towards Law. A high one goes downfield. Big leap by Jonas. Nobody looked like it. Punched out by Wallace. Some shepherding here as Phil Cracker picks up in lots of trouble. Dodges brilliantly away from Izard. Gets it back downfield, and Paul Salmon's underneath it. And what a spectacular mark that was from the Giants.
Yes, that was beautiful. On to Johnston. Cunningham punches down, but it goes to Spargo, who then went without it. And the ostentatious umpire, Ian Robinson, comes in to ball it up. Salmon's mark again. Jonas, not much of a hope here. Look at the grip he got on this one. Yep, beauty. Bit of shoulder to help it.
Now, that was very clever from a man of such immense physique. Very difficult one. Out towards Fairley, having a quiet time. Fairley's kick smothered, punched by Mossop. Nice pick up and driven downfield from North Melbourne. Underneath it is Bomber Thompson once again from that Peter German kick on the ground for the first time. Thompson out wide to Francis. Francis sends it very long and out wide, and here's a chance. An awkward bounce there. Bad luck for Terry Danaher. Gave John Law the chance to push it over the line out of bounds.
An absolute star a couple of years ago, Peter German, but he spent the first quarter and a half on the bench.
He spent a lot of time on the bench with John Kennedy this year, Drew, and once he's been dropped, to my surprise.
Mossop wins, but it goes straight to Folds, up towards half forward. Larkin's there with Bailey. Comes to Spencer. Larkin applies the tackle. Now Umpire will ball it up again. I reckon Ian Robinson's had more possessions than anybody on the field.
Yeah, it's getting back to possessions. Peter German is second to only Matthew Larkin in possessions in this North Melbourne camp, so it's quite surprising that he does spend so much time on the bench. Not a great defensive player, I think, is the verdict. In front was McDonald. Crocker, good tackle by Walsh. Folds out wide to Salmon. Salmon downfield very cleverly. Underneath it, Clark playing a great second quarter. A shocking hand pass goes to German, and Jonas follows the ball over the white line.
Well, Peter Jonas has had shocking luck. Broken a leg twice. He's playing just his 73rd game tonight in 7 years at North Melbourne since coming over from Adelaide. It's average of about 10 a year, not much. It's his first game this year in round 12. Here's McDonald tapping up the ground and trying to break away from Walsh. But the Coke sign wins, and we'll have a ball up down towards half forward.
North Melbourne 5-4, Essendon 5-1. McDonald and Salmon. Walsh's kick smothered. Williams downfield, doesn't cover any distance, and the mark is taken by Crocker. Crocker looks for Steve McCann. McCann, well done. Completely outwitted Winton that time. The ball dropped a little short. Winton expecting it long, and McCann marks on his chest. This is his third possession. Kicked one beautiful goal, and is one of the really classical kicks of league football. He's about 50 metres out as he comes in to kick. High, hooked it just a little, but it's a very long one. And he's made it. Really is a beautiful kick, Kev, isn't he?
Well, that's one of the great attributes of Steve McCann, because if he does win the ball 50, 60 metres out, he has got the kicking capacity. We see Crocker here kicking the ball down, and McCann playing in front, good body work by Steve McCann, and we've seen now John Kennedy's moved in fairly to centre-half back. He's been a disappointment so far tonight at centre-half forward, and Donald McDonald has gone to centre-half forward from centre-half back.
A steadier that one for North after Essendon had kicked the last 3 goals. Comes down to Izard. Back in the centre circle. A wrestle for the ball. And the umpire will come in and ball it up. We've had 16 ball-ups and 21 boundary throw-ins in 1 quarter plus 20 minutes.
Doesn't help the night's spectacle. Well done, Mossop. Ooh, could have been a free to Williams. Clark. Blind hand pass, Jim Cracker. Underneath it, Bomber Thompson. And the chances there for Bomber to follow it on. He's had a tough night, but done it all with credit. And here's a chance for Jimmy Cracker. Peter German will goal. Doesn't often miss. Really loves the goal and does it brilliantly. Well done, Peter German.
And well done also to Hickey, because Hickey really did apply the pressure that enabled the poor hand pass by the Essendon defence, which enabled, we see Hickey here really applying pressure there to Bomber Thompson. His hand pass was a bad one to Wallace, and Jimmy with those quick skills, he doesn't fumble Jimmy Cracker. And across to Peter German, I think I've mentioned to you once before, Doug, that I remember John Kennedy in World of Sport one day saying that he's one of those boys who can kick goals, German, no matter where he is on the ground. He's just got that radar-type kicking action. He can certainly kick a goal, Peter German.
Well, North have kicked 2 goals in 90 seconds, and the margin back to 15 points, which is where it was at quarter time. Is Bailey, and socket off the ground away from him. Out wide to the half-forward flank. Jonas charging at it. Not a bad pick-up either. Then lost it. And a terrific pick-up back in defence by Wallace. But the kick let him down after that. A free kick to North to be taken by Peter German.
German, centre wing position. Thompson again. By word, it was almost taken by Jim Cracker. Larkin comes through. Fighting for it, Williams. To Walsh, who's been a very good centre-half back. Oh, fine mark by Ross Smith. In those greasy conditions, that was a beauty.
Out wide to the far side, to the half-forward flank. In front is Hurd. Taps it away from his opponent, Phil Cracker. Spencer, back to Izard. And up over the wing to Hawker. It gets rid of Steele. Great running by Folds up from defence. 50 metres out, just a little bit more. Long to Salmon. Well done, Harris again, to Russia behind.
He's a wild leaper, big reckless jumper of this Darren Harris, an exciting player in full flight. He's a bit risky at times, but 2 spectacular saves when Salmon looked as if he had a certain mark in this corner. A very, very big kick looking for Larkin. And leading for it is Bailey. Didn't do much with it. Larkin is a very quick hand pass to German. German's was bad. And there'll have to be a ball up once again. You can add that to your tally. And it's David Johnson underneath it. It'll be bounced at centre wing.
And German certainly has been in the action since he's been brought onto the field. He's really given North Melbourne a lift.
Might eventually prove to John Kennedy that he can actually play.
I don't think there's any doubt about that.
No, I think so. High tackle on Robertson. It's actually, yes, high tackle on Robertson. Now, the umpire's being very detailed here with Izard on the mark. Anyway, the play's gone up to half forward and rushed over the line by Thompson. And, yes, a bit more obvious umpiring by Mr. Robertson.
Mr. Robertson, wonderful umpire. Robertson, well done. Underneath it, the mark will be taken by Darryl Cunningham. He's been very vigorous. Now, don't get too excited, Darryl, or you'll lose it. Larkin is penalised 15 metres. Cunningham's kick is a shocker. Jimmy Cracker gets an awkward bounce, and Walsh and Phil Cracker comes in. Oh. Here comes Jim Cracker. Hooks it back out wide to the flank, and Steve McCann's in front. He was going to shepherd and give Larkin the chance to come through with the ball, skidded away from them both, and it's out of bounds. And Steve McCann just clutching his hamstring a little and signalling to the trainers.
Class and courage by the Cracker brothers that time. Jonas in the ruck. Here's Izard at ground level. Burrows through, or attempts to. Runs into a brick wall, and this will be another ball up. Just inside 50. North in attack. Up to 20 ball ups for the match. We're just ticking into time on second quarter. Robertson. And we'll have another one.
I wonder how Shimmer's enjoying watching this at home. He's probably jumping out of the bed 3 and 4 times for every 5 minutes. And comes Simon Madden. Beaten that time. Izzard on the ball. Over the back it goes, and clever football by McRae again, then lost the run of it. Bailey, that's nice, out to Hawker. Hawker's going to look for across the ground, looking for Salmon and Danaher. Danaher's bumped over by Harris brilliantly. Harris takes him on, and well done. My word, he's done a few wonderful things in this term, and he gets a pat on the back and richly deserves it, does Darren Harris.
We've said before, Doug, he's looked shaky at different stages at fullback, but tonight is the most confident that I've seen actually attack the ball.
Well, nearly best on ground. He can't do much more than what he's done when the ball's come to that area. Up towards half forward. Awkward bouncing ball. Over his head by Hurd to Bailey in the centre circle. Puts it out wide to Johnston. Great running by Cunningham. 50 metres out. Left footer. Just away to the left. Darryl Cunningham, brother of Joffa Cunningham, who got a lot more games at St Kilda than this one. And we're about to see Sean Smith come on the ground for North to replace Jonas, who's been a bit of a disappointment in his first game.
Harris, for the second time, has kicked it out without an opponent or a teammate touching it and given away a charity free kick. So this is somewhat symptomatic of his type of play. Some absolutely brilliant football, and then those very, very elementary errors. Foles kicks downfield. Off the hands of Salmon it goes. McRae's doing battle with Bailey. And there might have been a free to steal there.
Against him.
No, against him. I thought he might have been pulled on the net, but he was in possession, said umpire Ian Robertson, and playing his 50th game today. But Darren, you can talk your head off, and Ian Robertson, he's talked to thousands of them. And it's bad luck, but the free's against him, and it's in kicking range. What did you think, Kev?
I would say he's very unlucky there, because we saw him attempt to hand pass the ball, but it slipped out of his hands.
For goal from Hawker, and does it.
Yes, it looked a bit tough in the finish, and of course it was Hawker's 9th possession, but there was an attempt by Steele, but the ball is slippery. There's a lot of rain before the game, and it would be pretty dewy out there. Let's have a look at it again. We see Steele there diving on the ball. Now, he now attempts to hand pass through the legs, but I feel even maybe a bit of a push from behind that flung him to the ground. I think a ball up then may have been the correct decision.
Well, the crowd not too happy. 7 points the margin. North in front. Steele barges in through that pack and goes down. Ball comes away to Cunningham. Harris playing in front. Takes a good safe chest mark. Pops it out wide to Jim Cracker. Up towards centre wing. Beautiful kick. Let me go. Spargo. Support by Smith. Well, it's an awkward old kick. Straight to the opposition. Fumbled by Daisy Williams. By chance McRae. Jim Cracker. 45 metres out. Not a bad kick, but just dropping short. Oh, look out, Winton. Well, he recovered pretty well. He's backing himself, and oh, he went a long way. He's gone too far. Penalised.
Steve McCann limping, incidentally, from that hamstring. Was just trailing along behind him, but it was accurately called. He went a long, long way. You've got to go a long way these days to get penalised, I promise you.
Well, we can see where Cunningham it is it? No, Wallace standing on the mark, and that's where he finished up after dropping the ball in the goal square. So it's an indication of just how far he ran.
Nearly the equal of a Gabbo run. Hickey's kick across the face of goal and brings up a behind. 8 points the lead to North Melbourne. 29.5 minutes gone.
Yes, well, Gabba had it trapped in his slipstream that day from that huge body. Well, it's a thrilling match, really, in these difficult conditions at night. Downfield it goes. Up goes Simon Madden and Mossop. Good smother. Wallace in lots of trouble. Out from German. Phil Cracker and Hurd. It's exciting. And Ian Robertson's got the verdict once again. Bounce.
Most experienced umpire in the VFL. Well over 300 games, Ian Robertson, and There's the siren for half-time here, under lights at the MCG. And North lead has been cut back from 15 points at quarter time to an 8-point lead at the line.
8 points the difference as we commence the third term with North Melbourne in front. Simon Madden and Mossop clash. Picked up and driven downfield by Williams. Izard underneath it, gets the front position. Behind was Steele. Terry Danaher goes down from what looked like a push. And there's going to be yet another ball up. And it's in Essendon's attacking zone.
Players and another ball up. Mossop, well done. Great skills. Cunningham just gets out of the tackle. Steele almost. Mossop again off the ground. Stephen Clark to Bailey. Danaher at the back. Never got near that one. A fine mark to John Law.
Surprising that one. He seemed to be expecting Salmon to come on, and Terry Danaher didn't actually go for it at all. Here's Mark Larkin, pursued by Salmon, out to Steele, dodges quite comfortably, doesn't kick it all that well out wide. Phil Cracker lost a run of it. German very cleverly to McRae. McRae out wide, and underneath it is Thompson, and Thompson, what a fine back pocket he's been yet once again.
Gets a poor kick away. Chance for Jim Cracker. He has beautiful balance. Chance here for North inside 50. But an excellent mark by Thompson coming over the back.
Played 45 games in the seconds before he got a game in the first, and he's stayed there ever since, as Bomber Thompson. Nice play there by Spargo. Kicks it very long to the pocket. Steve McCann goes limping out, and Winton beats him easily, and McCann looks as if he shouldn't be on the ground. Out towards Crocker. Nice pick up by Spencer, quickly out to Williams. Williams in the centre of the ground now. Sends it wide looking for Salmon. Salmon jockeyed for position. Well done, Harris against him. The kick off the ground is unsuccessful. Cunningham's got the chance. Picked up by Clark. Breaks a tackle. Gets a lightning one out to Hawker. Hawker's in trouble. Cleverly back towards Foles. Foles is shepherded. They're fiddling around, back to Hawker. Eventually Hawker gets a short one, and Izard tumbles at it and can't mark. And that Clark tumbled at it. They've lost their opportunity as it goes towards the boundary line.
But not out yet. Clark, oh, he's holding it. That's the way the umpire sees it. And Larkin goes in. I just want the ball, he reckons.
That's correct, you're right. It's mine, isn't it?
So Larkin gets a 15-metre penalty, which he doesn't use, finds Jim Cracker, still up short of the wing. A lead inboard by Smith. Good chase, Bailey. Centre half forward. Staying down as German. Well played, Francis. Met by Phil Cracker, who kicks it defensively, but gives McRae a chance. Oh, what a top tackle that was. And up the ground, taken away by Wallace. And now the ball out of play.
Over the line, David Johnston was the young man who tackled so well that time. Slipping was Winton, so did Spencer. Lightning hand pass to Law. Law back towards centre wing position. Awkward bounce gives a great opportunity to Johnston again. Over the top of him goes Larkin, picked up by Spargo. He's tackled too. And North Melbourne's hand passing very good as Mossop boots them downfield. Sean Smith on the ground there. Robertson goes for it as running past it was Wallace. Robertson now, who's played pretty well. Jim Cracker the target, and a desperate dive at it is unsuccessful. Hurd comes in, and Winton again picks up brilliantly and boots it straight to Phil Cracker. He's in lots of trouble. Taken away by Williams onto Izard, but they can't break away. North Melbourne swing back into attack through Matthew Larkin.
No further score, 8 points the difference, and we've used up 4.5 minutes of this third quarter. And here's Donald McDonald, 65 metres from goal. Goes long. McCann injured. Can't get up. Crocker at the back. Can't get boot to ball. McCann off the ground, heavily strapped. Francis. Good tackling North. Winton in trouble. And just scrambles the ball out of play in the back pocket.
He's done it well. He's done
Well,
it
with
very well.
seeing McCann so badly injured and his thigh so heavily strapped, it's surprising that he's still on the ground.
It seems absurd, Kev, because he really can't make a go of it at all.
He's immobile.
Sean Smith out to Larkin, on to German. German tries to hook it back, it's smothered. Jim Cracker dives at it, so does Izard. Izard a long punch blind, a left foot snap. Is a beauty. Just waiting to pick it up there as he recovers from the ground. It was German again. Well, you said, Kevin, he can kick them from anywhere, and that was as good a goal as you'll ever see.
It's his 8th possession, Doug, and he only came onto the ground during that second quarter, and he really does have radar goal-kicking skills. There's Izard with that wild hand pass, and that's a bad hand pass because that was just wild from that last line of defence. It would have been far better to hand pass it along the ground and certainly towards the boundary line rather than just hand pass it wildly back over the head. We see McCann now coming off the ground, not before time, and of course Peter Jonas is coming back on.
But here goes North out of the middle, but Crocker's kicks offline. Desperate attempt down there by Smith, but the ball goes out of play. Yeah, Steve McCann used up about 6 minutes in this quarter, where he really wasn't all that much use to the team. Yeah, but Jonas, unfortunately, just couldn't get into it in his first game back. 3 possessions only. Larkin! Offline, 4 are behind.
He certainly covers the whole waterfront as Matthew Larkin. He's playing in the centre, and he's down in the forward pocket. He's in the back pocket. He's certainly one of the new brigade. But the whole field is his domain. What Francis is doing here, but he gains about 15 to 20 metres, then kicks it very badly to Spargo. So that was poor football by Peter Francis, playing his 150th game with his 4th club. Spargo short is not good. Izard up high, nice pick up, and a shot for goal is not a good one. It's off direction, and it's the big fellow Jonas, who's shown a lot of endeavour, but really, as Drew mentioned earlier, he had a lot of ill luck. Just as he's got near the ball so often, he's dribbled over the line, but shown tons of courage and tons of endeavour.
Treatment on the north bench. Kick out. Just over 60 metres. Larkin used his body well to win possession there. Mossop with the kick smothered. Whipped away by Wallace for the Bombers. Over centre wing he goes. Steele goes up to punch away from Hawker. But it comes back to the Bombers' best and fairest of last year. Well played, Glenn Hawker. Then he dropped it in Robertson's tackle, holding the ball. Well, he's found it a bit tough tonight, Hawker.
North Melbourne tackling has been absolutely magnificent. That was a perfect illustration. It was the 3rd player who gave that great tackle, and at no stage, Hawker thought he was away, but at no stage because he dodged the 3 of them tackling him, and it's German who pushes that over the line out of bounds. But really, the tackling has been absolutely magnificent from the North Melbourne side. Madden up high. Falling on it there was Johnston. He looked as if he threw it back. Robertson comes in, picked up by Williams. A leap by Ross Smith this time. From the back it goes. Well played, Bailey. Bailey left foot into open territory. Here's a chance for Gary Fold, and Harris is going to gather him in. Well played, Harris, and gives his teammate the chance. Dangerous one, and Crocker takes it over the line out of bounds. But Harris deserves full marks once again with a magnificent run to gather in Gary Fold.
Essendon leading by 5 in free kicks, with North leading on the scoreboard. That's where you've got to win it. German in there again. The umpire will ball this up. 35 to 40 metres out from goal. And we've been playing 9 minutes in the 3rd quarter. Salmon in ruck against Mossop. Helped up by Stephen Clark. Goes to Hawker. Didn't hook it back far enough. Out of bounds on the full.
Free kick to John Law. The school teacher from Strathbogie. Law down the grandstand side, looking for German. German got hands to the ball first, but it bounced away from him, probably assisted by an Essendon fist. And it's out of bounds on the half-forward flank, with the Northerners still in attack.
Spencer against Mossop. Mossop wins clean possession, gets it away to Spargo, bouncing on centre wing. Walsh overruns. McDonald paddles up the ground, gains metres, but loses the ball out of play.
Some of Winton's ball handling has been quite amazing for such a big fellow. Crocker bad luck. Foles lost the run of it. Hawker again under pressure to Winton. Winton a good 55-metre one. Steele up and strong. Very strong athletic mark. Steele is on half-back flank. Kevin Walsh in awkward position. Crocker goes trundling after it, so does Simon Madden.
And Essendon have really fallen down across that half-forward line tonight. Spencer hasn't really dominated or really been a focal point of attack there for them. And, of course, Danaher also had a bad second quarter where he didn't touch the ball.
Here's Cunningham. Switched this season from St Kilda. Doesn't beat the tackle, so the kick off the side of the boot. Chance for Law. Crashing up the ground. Down by Foles. Not to the advantage of North. A sprint for the ball out in the open. Hurd to Bailey. He goes off the ground beautifully to Daisy Williams. A left-footer to centre half forward. Salmon. Top mark.
Certainly looks good when he's at full forward.
That was actually his fourth mark for the night. And he's taken them high above his head. And one over there where he dashed at full stretch to take one out in front of his body. And 4 marks on a night like this. Not a bad effort for a man as tall as Paul Salmon. His kick is from about 46 metres. But he sprays it to the right.
That deserved more. But 'twas not to be, and Harris, who can kick the ball tremendous distances, this time goes for a long one, doesn't quite make it. Terry Bailey in front, short passes beautifully. Very clever to Hawker. A couple of clever things from Bailey in the last few moments. That little soccer off the ground, which he accurately got to Williams to get the ball downfield when Salmon took the mark. And that was nice constructive football when he just got a little short one out to Hawker. And Essendon need this one.
And he rarely misses, Doug, Glenn Hawker.
This is his 14th possession. I think he might have missed that one, Kev.
He's generally, I would think, Essendon's most accurate kicking for goal, Hawker. So that's not a good sign for the Bombers.
Whoops. Umpire's whistle blow just as Harris was going to give it a resounding thump.
Now Harris changes his mind and goes towards the outer side. He's kicked out without it being touched twice, and that time nearly did it. It was just a fingernail by McRae which reached it inside the line.
John Kennedy might have said, go for the boundary line from those kick-outs. He might be taking him literally.
You wouldn't believe it, would you, that your full-back can nearly do it 3 times in the night. Back to centre wing position. In front is Thompson. Thompson's kick is not good. Nicely taken at centre half back by Ross Smith, who's played an excellent game. He's as tough as old boots as this one. Really hits hard. He's been a great player. Good punch by Danaher. In trouble. Foles gets it taken away from by Endeavour by Jonas. Cunningham's in trouble from Cracker. Foles. And yet another ball up.
Jonas played well then. 13.5 minutes gone in the third quarter. 14 points the difference. North in front. Comes down to Clark. Now Wallace. Robertson for North. Williams. There's one after the other. Piling on the ball and another ball up. And this time, the 28th ball up for the game.
He's totally stuffed, Drew. They're sliding along the turf and they're just falling on top of the ball. The umpire should penalise him for being in possession and try and stop it. Here comes Hawker again. Beautiful balk. Underneath it fairly. Missed by Smith behind. Madden at full forward with Harris. Izard gets the ball kicked away from him. Over the line. Out of bounds on the full. Free kick will go to Harris. Appealed very quickly for that one. Harris now see if he can give this one a big one. This is a great kick. Salmon's underneath it. Crocker did well to frustrate him. Great pick up by Clark. A good tackle. Out to Cunningham. Lightning stuff to Hawker. Back to Clark. Clark in lots of trouble. And shoots for goal. And it's just off direction. And it's through for one behind.
Well, Clark was one of the good players in that second quarter that helped get Essendon back in the game when it looked as if North Melbourne might kick away. And certainly Daisy Williams has continued his great form for the first half into this third quarter. He's been one of the real keys to the Bombers' performance tonight.
Gee, Harris kicked it 70 metres into play that time, and this nowhere near the boundary line for a change. Centre wing, German, up the ground to his mate Larkin, who applies the tackle. Umpire Robinson said it's in the back, and the free kick will go to Spencer.
Didn't want to ball it up again.
Took your advice, Doug?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think he heard it, but I think he didn't want to ball that one up. This is only 7th possession for Spencer. Salmon's the target. Mossop goes the punch when he might have marked, actually. Long one from Johnston, underneath at Cunningham. Kick off the ground by Smith is very good. Good leap by Wallace. Izard in trouble, but gathers brilliantly. Hooks it back towards half-forward flank, and Harris leads in the run. Gets a super bounce. Hand passes over to open territory. Onto the line it goes. Out of bounds, but he loves to run and hurtle himself at the ball as Darren Harris.
It's difficult conditions, isn't it, Doug? When the ball is slippery, and obviously, you know, the dew comes down, players struggle to really handle it cleanly. They slip over a lot, mishandle all the time, fumble. It's very difficult.
Interception here by McRae, who tunnels it out the back. Well picked up by McDonald. And good running Mossop, and North away from half-back up towards half-forward. Danaher back in defence now. Kicks to centre wing, Larkin for North. Will he reach it? No, the ball was out before he tapped back in to Robertson, and there'll be a throw-in.
Typical of the courage of Danaher that time as he fought and eventually got it, kicked it over the line, but back on the back line now. He's had a poor night, and a very heavy blow early. Hawker quickly out to Wallace. Underneath at John Law. A big punch, and here's a chance for Foles and Harris. Well played, Harris. Picked up by Bailey. Across it goes, and Cunningham. Left foot up, puts it through. That's an important goal for the Bombers, and the match is looking very, very close. 55 points to 48. 11th possession for Cunningham. So Kevin Sheedy's resurrected somebody else, Kevin Bartlett.
Well, when he came onto the ground, Doug, early in the, late in the first quarter, we thought it was a good move, because at that particular stage, Essendon was lacking a bit of pace on its forward line. And we see Harris there didn't take that ball cleanly at all. And then that quick hand pass out to Cunningham, who took those couple of quick steps and popped it through. And Sugar Winton now has been moved from full-back to centre-half forward. Obviously, Sheedy is worried about the lack of ability across the forward line there tonight, and Francis has gone down into that key full-back post, and Danaher to centre-half back.
Larkin out of the middle, and a great leap by German, but it comes away to Hurd. Over the centre he goes to half-forward. Big pack gathering here. What a mark! Hickey. A lot of pressure on him there. And in between half-back and the centre. A few leads coming from about half-forward. He took a long time to get rid of the ball, and then kicked to a lot of Essendon players, and the tallest, and Paul Salmon takes the mark.
Well, sticky fingers, wasn't it?
And he's played very well tonight, Salmon.
He's played very well, Kev, yes. Huge amount of talent in that enormous frame, and what a good kick. Perfect to Winton, and Winton marked it very well. Sugar Winton, as they call him at Richmond, according to KB. Downfield it goes. Nice leap. Oh, it was almost taken, and well played again there by Clark, but kicks it badly for goal and sprays it out of bounds. He's dangerous up forward. Is this one? That's where he does most of his good work. And the free kick when the ball is relayed back will be to Larkin, I think it is. He's in that back pocket now. He's amazing. The territory he covers throughout the night. And there's Kevin Sheedy, pointing, directing, talking.
Back to half-back. Crocker, number 27. Williams. And maybe the Essendon smaller men have turned the corner in the last week or two. Williams has had a pretty good night.
Oh, he's had a very good night, Williams. He's been close to the best player on the ground.
I think 27 possessions last week too. Down it comes from Johnston. Good spoil by Madden. Good defensive football by Smith again. Nice pick up by Winton. To Foles. Foles hooks it back. Madden's the leaper, and Harris was the leaper. Madden stayed down, and eventually was pushed through by Robertson.
And very good defensive play by Robertson. Just to pop that ball through. It's much better to have a minor score than to give the opportunity for the opposition to kick a goal.
One straight kick the difference. North have led all night, but never by much. Punched up the ground by Law. Here's Williams again. Great hand pass to Salmon, 20 metres in the clear. And a beautiful pass to Hawker. Oh, no, over his head. And Harris gets the fingers to it and might have damaged his fingers a little bit then, too.
He did.
Yep.
So he's dislocated his finger there on his left hand. No, he said, I've just pulled it back.
Yep.
It's got a very high pain threshold.
Kick as it goes back, yeah. Free kick should go to Hawker that time.
There's been a lot of players try and put their finger back when they think it's out of joint and it's been broken.
Yes, yeah. Pull the top
Or they've
off.
broken it themselves.
Mossop fighting for it. Again, it's Clark. Very cleverly to Foles. Equally as well to Williams. Williams' kick is a better one, but it'll only be a point unless Harris marks it. Harris does mark it, but took it through with him. And that's another point in the scoreboard. There's only one goal the difference now. No, there's 5 points the difference. There's a fine looking on Australian, Drew.
Harris goes for another 70-metre kick in. Cray there, taken away by Bailey, who bangs it back for the Bombers to full forward. Madden. Rovers couldn't pick up. Here's Cunningham, caught by Law. And now Clark, out of bounds before he could get it back over his head. And the Bombers doing most of the attacking in the last 10 minutes or so. We're at the 21.5-minute mark, and North lead by 5 points.
Yes, Cunningham should have hand passed that time. He took far too long to get rid of it. Well, play Steele. Intercepted by Bailey, picked up by Larkin. Larkin out wide looking for Phil Cracker. Jimbo's there to help him. Phil Cracker beating Hurd. Oh, gee, it's hard to earn a free kick. Here comes German. German hooks it back brilliantly. Absolutely magnificent. And McDonald drops what he should have taken. And Francis might get them out of trouble. He will. He will. And that was beautiful football by German.
Beautiful tap on also from Phil Cracker. But a bad miss by Donald McDonald.
So Francis kicks back to the wing. Izard slipped down but regained his footing quickly. A real sign of a resurgence by the Bombers at centre-half forward. It spills out to Larkin. Great kick, short of half forward, but beautifully pinpointed. A hand pass out from German to Spargo. Forward pocket job. Come on, McDonald, make amends. Well, he's kept it in. Jonas kept going. Chance for North. Smith there as well, but Francis for the Bombers.
And Francis kicks it out where Cunningham went early. It's 3-1 against him. Big John Mossop there with it. And a great dodge that time. Brilliant football, Spargo. Spargo steadies and kicks a magnificent long one. Well, he beat the paddock full and then converted beautifully.
Well, that's his second goal, and I'd say that's the goal of the night. That was fantastic play there by Spargo. You see Cunningham there going before acceptances. And John Mossop here really put Spargo under the hammer. But a poor tackle there by Bailey and also a poor tackle by Wallace. Two young players, not really going around the trunk of the player and really applying a strong tackle, really slapping with the hands, and then finished off with a magnificent kick.
Mossop wins in the middle. But it goes straight to the opposition. Clark, great kick from a standing start. Oh, what a mark by Harris. Plays on quickly to Steele. And his kick wide to the wing. Crocker leads. Well done. Well, for about 10 minutes or so, it looked all Essendon as they got to within 5 points. And just the last few minutes, North have come right back into it. Comes to the back of the pack. Robertson, number 12. German, well played, out to Robertson. Goal coming up. He dashes away from Francis. Oh, but no! And the hand pass intercepted by Danaher. Loses it in the tackle. Recovers. That looked a certain goal. But Essendon out of it through Johnston.
Johnston left foots it wide to centre wing to open territory. And that really was a golden opportunity lost as Hickey then soccers over the line.
Well, of course, he tried to bounce the ball.
Make sure of it too.
Tried to bounce the ball, and really he He was close enough to just kick a low trajectory kick to bring up the 4 points, but not realising the conditions, that it was virtually impossible to bounce the ball.
Well, really, North should lead by about 4 goals if you count that as a certainty. And what about McDonald's a couple of minutes ago?
Yes, they've lost a couple of golden opportunities.
Only what on the scoreboard counts.
Yes, it's only supposition and history now. And the history doesn't help you one bit when you say, I should have got it. Here's a free kick to the Bombers, and they're going to go into attack through Johnston. Johnston steadies and kicks it down to the half-forward line. In front was Spencer. Fairley's there in the back line. And a free kick should go to Steele against Folds.
And Keane is back on the ground for the Bombers, and Daryl Cunningham is off.
Well, good football by Steele. His 13th possession. Having a purple patch. He's looking for Jonas. Oh, what a fine mark from Thompson once again. Been one of Essendon's very best players. Took a couple of very heavy knocks early, but great courage fought on. Here comes Salmon Harris. Not Salmon Harris, Harris in front of Salmon.
6 marks to Harris. And he's thumped, spoiled, and kicked it a mile. It comes to the back. Big chance here for North. They lope after it. Oh, overrun. And a defensive kick for the boundary line is good from Shane Hurd.
Kevin Walsh was pleased. He was the one who ran over the top of it that time. And Hurd rescued him. It looked like a fatal error. Simon Madden comes in to go the big leap with his left hand. Out towards Thompson. From Hurd to Thompson. Better hurry. Gets a left footer out wide for Hurd. For Foles. Closely pursued by Steele. Steele might win it. Foles recovers better. Well done, Gary Foles. Caught by McRae. Chance for Johnston. Out to Francis. Francis then down towards the centre-half forward zone, and Harris in front again. Misses what he should have taken. The opportunity to Ross Smith and picks it up beautifully. Sent it out to the half-forward, the half-back flank with a perfect pass to Fairley.
North fans thought there was a free back near centre wing to Steele. He was bowled over. Oh, Smith, what a mark. Well, we've seen him do it a few times earlier in the season. Sean Smith, recruited from Canberra. A beauty. German under this. And McCann, and spoiled by Walsh. And the ball inside 50. North back into attack, leading by 11 points at the 27-minute mark.
Richly deserved their lead. They could be leading by more, but they've answered every challenge. When Essendon get close, they seem to be able to get the reply quickly, but the free kick is against Jonas. And we'll go to Simon Madden. Out to Williams. This is dangerous. Wallace against Larkin, and Larkin normally win. He does win it, but the siren has gone for three-quarter time. And he's going to have a shot for goal, and from just over 50 metres out, with a really big one, Matthew Larkin could make it. But Wallace hasn't played all that well tonight, and I guess it's a pretty tough battle to get up against a man with the skills of the interstate player Matthew Larkin.
This is his 9th kick for the quarter.
And best and fairest, a couple of years ago, Larkin kicks for goal, won't make it. Wild leaping and running, and at three-quarter time, North Melbourne 9-7-61 are leading Essendon 7-8-50.
Interestingly, Essendon lead in kicks, marks, handballs, free kicks, all over the place, except on the scoreboard. Charging in at this is Madden, and wins the first tap in the last quarter. Ball spills out. It's a real pack back in that centre square. Williams just gets free, get the first decisive possession. Harris with Salmon. Harris a bit slow, comes to Bailey, on to Hawker. 45 metres out, this is close. Steele dashes back for it, but Hawker just misses to the right. 10 points the margin.
Well, it certainly is a thriller. He's been one of the spectacular players of the night in Darren Harris, who really is a magnificent kick, and this is no exception. Punched by Bailey. McRae down. Moss have had plenty of time to give that to Law. Thompson's got the chance. He's in lots of trouble. Met, but does it beautifully against Sean Smith. Back to Francis. And it's all Essendon. Bailey, you should mark, which he does. Bailey now got lots of time. Gives it high to Salmon, which is a good idea. Salmon up, might have taken a free that time, but didn't. In comes Keane. Well tackled that time by Ross Smith. Harris rescues the situation again. Left foot's out of danger. Wide out to the boundary line. Crocker goes up. He's had a spectacular leap. Then they dive and struggle for it. And the umpire has only one decision for that. Little hug the ball. And Alan Izzard who only cost $5,000 in transfer fee from Melbourne. It makes me sad every time I look at it.
And back on the Essendon bench, Dean Wallace just replaced, just a minute into the last quarter, and Daryl Cunningham back on the ground. Madden wins the tap. Hawker's there. Well, but Jim Cracker gets him red hot. Umpire signals that Hawker is trying to get the ball out with a hand pass, and he'll ball it up. Doesn't mind hard work, Ian Robinson.
Well, the Crackers haven't had a great influence on the game since half-time, which is, I guess, all the more commendable for North, because so often it does depend on the Crackers. Mossop down to Law. Law and Hawker both clutching at it desperately. And umpire Ian Robinson with that familiar sign when he crosses his arms across his chest to indicate, give it to me and I'll bounce it. Ross Smith, number 15, pointing towards Hawker. Mossop's done pretty well on the punch-outs, and Crocker's been a good player too. Crocker out wide, and Kevin Walsh misses a difficult one. Recovers well. It really is hard to get a free kick. There's McDonald. Jonas kicks it into his opponent. Walsh, very slick hand pass out to Keane. Keane back towards Bailey. Law goes up high. Spencer's there. Great pick up by Winton again. Down in the Salmon direction. Salmon over the back is Steele. Steele and Foles go for it. Steele gets there first and will take the free against Foles. And that was a pretty vital one for North Melbourne. And John Kennedy will give a slight half smile.
He's in great touch, Steele. He read that beautifully. Here's Mossop, just short of the 50-metre line. That's got to be a marker free to Mossop. Just a little bit late coming. He was prepared to wait out of football to get his clearance from Geelong to come to North this year. And that ball out of bounds just short of the wing. 3.5 minutes gone in the last quarter. 61 plays 51.
And 27 is against 4, as usual. Madden gets it beautifully down to Williams. Possession number 23, a great leap by Steele. Behind the pack, it's Harris. Hand pass is a good one too. Out of danger, just temporarily only. Well trapped by Thompson, who hasn't made a mistake tonight. Tries a short pass down towards the half-forward flank, but it's going to be taken over the line there.
Spencer.
By Spencer.
Looks like he was a bit crook on himself there too. Don't know what for.
7 possessions over.
Pretty quiet night.
Both sides have fallen down badly at centre-half forward tonight.
Mossop wins, but only to Bailey. 2 on 2. Salmon slipped it across beautifully. Keane buried. Izard gets the hand pass away, but straight to Crocker. And wide open here for North Melbourne. On his own is Spargo out of wing. Support from Crocker, who's gone 70 metres with it. Good kick to full forward. Jonas. Great play, North. And good to see you back, Peter Jonas.
Well, it was a great mark. Jonas, who came across from South Australia with a tremendous reputation. Of course, he's had so many injury problems, breaking his leg on 2 occasions, but there's a strong mark in front. Actually out-jostled Danaher, and it's not very often that you see Terry Danaher out-jostled.
Right in front, 25 metres out, and he's kicked it from his first mark for the night. And just 3 kicks.
What the super boots of running football by Crocker too.
Yes, and he booted with his left boot.
There he goes.
Long hand pass down there to Spargo. Spargo back to Crocker, who continued that long run. And onto that left boot, showing great skills because he's a natural right footer. And Jonas there. Danaher, of course, was running with the flight of the ball then, which made it even more difficult for him.
Well, Peter Jonas will be absolutely delighted. He's been a good goal kicker in his time, and he'll be delighted to get that vital one through. Mossop and Madden, even Stephen. Bailey with the ball. Great punch there from behind by Hickey. Out goes to Williams. Steele's got the run away from Hawker. 2 great relieving dashes out wide. It goes towards Izard, and Crocker's there close behind him. And again, North out of trouble. It's about centre wing position.
It's a bit of a funny match, isn't it? Izard and Crocker. Madden, Mossop. Well, Mossop, I think, won it, but straight to Izard. High inside 50. Clears the pack. Winton. Oh, Steele, brilliant. Oh, how's that? Keep going, son. playing your 50th. Celebrate. That's great stuff. Clark, very wide to Keane, over his shoulder. Not a bad kick. Harris goes very high again. It's thumped through from behind.
Well, I repeat, it's jolly hard to get a free kick. If ever one deserved one, I thought Steele did that time. Harris again, out in the Mossop direction, but wide up. Oh, what a good mark by Thompson again. He's really played a flawless game in back pocket. Simon Madden, he's up in the full forward zone. That's his 5th mark.
And Paul Salmonoff, Wallace coming on.
Can explain that one. Oh, what a good mark to Madden. Maybe he's injured, Paul Salmon.
Well, he seemed to jog off the ground okay, but that's not always telling the story. But you see Madden there with the eyes on the ball. That's a typical Simon Madden mark. Hasn't had a great night. He's won his share of knockouts, but hasn't been a dominating player. Only 6 possessions.
Now he's got the chance to kick his own second goal. And what a vital one it'd be, and what a good kick. He's topped Essendon's goal kicking a couple of times in his long, illustrious career, and that's the way he's done it. For a big fellow, there's a lot more distance to drop ball to foot, and he did it very well that time.
It was interesting to see Salmon off the ground. We'll check his stats maybe. We'll see how Salmon's gone. But he's been a pretty good player tonight, Paul Salmon. There's Madden there, just out in front, and Ian Fairley, who started the game at centre-half forward, not having the best of night, and then moved into defence.
Salmon 11 possessions. 5 marks, not bad on a slippery old night. Knocked out by Robertson. Good spin by McDonald. On to Crocker, who set up the last one for North. This is very wide and going out almost round a half-forward flank, down into the pocket.
And one of their very best players is Crocker. There's Paul Salmon. I'd be mighty disappointed if I was him. He's off the ground at this stage. Well played, McDonald. And Sean Smith is number 32. And one of the Bombers' best, Daisy Williams, hands the ball to the umpire.
And they've moved Terry Danaher now to full forward.
9 minutes gone in the last quarter. McDonald's kick smothered. Comes to Thompson. He did that coolly. Well played. And Madden. His kick up towards the centre. Bailey underneath it. Fine mark to Hickey. And all players bar 2 in one half of the ground. To half forward. Madden drops one. Wallace slips it across to Izard, who gets a high tackle. Will take the free, but he goes quickly by hand to Williams. And the Bombers setting up something here. Hawker on the gallop. Through the middle. Open forward line. One out is Danaher with Harris. And Harris has done the job again. Down goes TD. Smith.
Did it again. He's been a brilliant player. Robertson out to Harris. Harris left footer is good football. And brilliantly picked up by Larkin, who's been top possession getter again. Out to Sean Smith. Back it comes for Spargo. Spargo downfield, and Jimmy Cracker goes high. Over the back it goes, and Jonas is there. Hit out by Phil Cracker. Very clever. Towards McRae. Back it goes to Phil Cracker. Phil Cracker then hooks it, but hooks it straight down the throat of the Essendon opponent, the person of Wallace.
Dean Wallace, youngster, first season, across to Folds. An oldie, and he's about his 16th season. Up to Cunningham. On to Francis. And he goes long to half forward. Larkin and Hawker at the back. Well done, Larkin. Across to Smith. Around the boundary line to the wing. Sean Smith there, but the ball punched away by Cunningham. And a boundary throw.
And in this particular quarter, Glenn Hawker simply can't take a trick on that half-forward line. He's been outpointed about 3 times. And he's been late trying to tackle him. Over the back from Mossop is brilliant. Very long kick from Spargo. In front, Jim Cracker.
Ooh, free kick to Jim.
Over the back it goes, and here's Folds. He'll be tackled by McRae. And North are in attack.
Well, we're approaching a half century here. This is the 49th boundary throw-in for the night. Taken away by Cunningham. 4-all kick. Mossop fumbles. Oh, good use of the body by Larkin. 70 metres out. A chance here. Both crackers there. McDonald. Clark caught beautifully by German. You don't get a free kick for a tackle on the forward line. A ball up.
They're hard to earn, aren't they?
Yep.
They're really hard to earn. But they've been consistent, the umpires. And that's really all one can ask.
Well, it's pretty hard to give a free kick if there's not one there, Doug, isn't it?
Well, I think, I've felt some of them have been there, Kev, but they've been consistent, and it's a difficult night to umpire. Down went Williams again. And gosh, there's been some heavy knocks here tonight, and Daisy's taken a couple of them, but he's been a wonderful player. Out to Francis. Francis, game number 150 tonight. Oh, what a good mark. Surprised himself, I think, didn't it, Spencer? Hey, don't go and lose it all. They've been hard enough to get for you during the evening. Across it goes well disposed too. Folds, who has that great ability to make space. Out to Izzard. Izzard kicks it wide, looking for Wallace. Wallace beaten brilliantly by Keane, beaten brilliantly by Ross Smith.
Smith from halfback puts it out in front of Law and Crocker. Good balance. In he goes to Larkin. Backed himself and beat Wallace. Great pass. At centre half forward, Jim Cracker.
He's been absolutely dynamic, Larkin, hasn't he?
He's a great player.
He just wins the ball all the time.
This is Jim's first kick for this quarter. We've been going 13 minutes. He was touchless in the last quarter against Hawthorn on Monday. So he does go out of the game. Should nearly kick this. Should nearly kick it. He's drilled it right through the middle at post height. A beauty.
Well, he won their best and fairest last season, so he's been a wonderful player for him, hasn't he?
Well, you mentioned it was his first touch for the quarter, Drew, but very rarely is he ever out of the game for very long, Jimmy Cracker. And there's that magnificent pass from Matthew Larkin, who has been initiating a lot of attacks from across the half-back line. He's also had a run on the ball. And he and Spargo have really been running players tonight, along with Steele out of defence. And Larkin's had 27 possessions just to demonstrate his dominance.
Hawker boots them into attack. Oh, what courage, Steele. That was absolutely magnificent, and he really is having a purple patch these last 3 weeks, but that was wonderful football. Crocker's played well. Up above his opponent he goes. Keane fights for it. Law's there giving assistance to Crocker. Crocker's bundled down, kicked off the ground by Robertson, out of bounds, and that's where the umpires have been consistent. There could have been an opportunity. There could have been the chance of maybe a technical free there, but they've let it go, and I guess the spectacle's been better for it.
Well, half centuries have been applauded at the MCG before, but rarely for boundary throw-ins. That's 50. Spargo, it's an Essendon free kick. Comes back to Wallace, just behind the wing. Margin 15 points, same as it was at quarter time. And strangely, a quick 3 goals by Essendon, and they can steal it yet. Williams a hurried kick, high to Izzard. Nudged out by Smith. It comes to the back to Stephen Clark. Open goal, he goes for the hand pass. Madden. Oh, it took a week to come back to him. Steele, well played. Oh, slow motion Madden. Steele again.
Still, amazing. Crocker marks, and my gosh, he's played well too, as Keane slithered into the fence. Crocker short passes downfield, a good one. Crash. Free kick will go out there at centre wing to Peter German. German now, who kicks the ball so beautifully. This is no exception. Oh, what a beautiful catch there by McRae. And North looking $1 million. McRae downfield. Walsh may stop this one. McDonald gets it away from him. Sean Smith out to Jimmy Cracker. And down he went. There's Phil Cracker comes in to assist. And Jim Cracker crawls over Bomber Thompson. Thompson looks at the umpire and claims the free kick is not to be. Umpire Robertson to bounce.
18 scoring shots apiece, and Essendon, who'd kicked straight early, they're out of it because of 3 more behind. The hand pass from Walsh comes out to Cunningham. Short of centre wing, Mossop. And as we get past the 16-minute mark in the last quarter, a 15-point lead to North Melbourne.
Yes, it's going to be hard to catch that one in these difficult, greasy conditions. Goals are at a premium, as you can see by that scoreboard. Mossop down. Spargo's kick smothered. Punched by Wallace. Law strong, tackled by Hawker. Cunningham's fingers have been hurt too as he slaps his hand against his thigh. There's John Law, one of the tough, courageous players. There's the wee Scots.
I might add that whereas Essendon's kicking might look poor, there have been 4 rush behinds for the Bombers. North defence happy to get the ball through for a score. And here's a North Melbourne free kick to Peter Jonas, just forward of the wing. A lot of height and a bit of a wobble on the ball. Chance here for Smith. He's got it right in front. Sean Smith. And a straight kick here would nearly be the decider, I reckon. 4 goals would be just about nigh impossible to catch up, considering Essendon have managed just 8 in 3.5 quarters. Just third possession to Smith. Ainsley in the ACT. 30 metres out. Goal.
Never in doubt.
Well, we've seen Sean Smith take a couple of spectacular marks this year. As you said, recruited from the ACT. And that goal would just about give the Northerners a bit of breathing space. And once again, we see a goal coming from a poor kick off the boot. Jonas's kick off the side of the boot. And if there's ever a lesson, you must always play in front if you're a back man. And this kick drops short. And we can see Smith there out in front, being the recipient of a poor kick.
As Francis shakes his head, knowing that he was far too far back. And down they go again from German towards centre-half forward. Francis battles with Sean Smith. Cunningham, who's been a bit slow in disposal, taps it off the ground. Nicely picked up and a great hand pass out to Hickey. Hickey then sends it downfield. And here's Phil Cracker. Oh, and his teammate got in his road. Then Phil Cracker tries to get it back. That was bad football.
Lack of talk there.
Oh, wasn't it, Kev? That was a glorious opportunity lost. It was Peter Jonas who was the offender. But it was Phil Cracker's ball. But I think looking at Essendon, Kevin, a lot of their younger players really aren't quite up to it yet.
Well, Wallace has struggled tonight, and Johnston has been a struggling player.
Robertson. Hand pass went nowhere except out of bounds.
And Spencer also has been a player that's been a disappointing one. And Terry Danaher took that heavy knock in that first quarter, and I'm not quite certain whether he's really recovered from that knock.
Spargo for North. Back to full forward. Thumped out by Hurd, but North in a scoring position. Crocker burrows through. Smith again. Williams fighting with him for the ball, and another ball up.
Because since quarter time, Terry Danaher's only had 2 possessions. That was a very heavy knock he took from Ross Smith.
Yes, it's most unusual to see that gallant captain not get more of the ball. Here comes Hawker taken away from him. Keane towards centre-half forward. Winton goes for the run, but so does John Law. And this is beautiful football by Steele again. He's played a stunning last quarter, and Wallace takes a chest mark. He wants to get on with it quickly now. Gets a long hand pass out to Johnston. Johnson decides to give it short downfield as Danaher comes in. Well played Harris against him again. Harris then sends it downfield, and there's North players everywhere as Sean Smith leads in the race to it and takes it over the line out of bounds. 20 minutes gone, and it's looking good for North Melbourne.
Well, if Danaher's not 100%, why would Salmon, who looks apparently fit, be on the bench instead of at full forward?
Well, I'm only suggesting that the knock may have taken a little bit out of him. He still may be fit, but he just might be feeling great.
McRae's kick, the 2 crackers up there. It comes back here to Spargo, open goal. That's it. North really drilling it in now. And he's kicked 3, Paul Spargo.
And he's had 22 possessions, and right from the opening bounce tonight, playing on the ball and across that half-back line, he's been a very damaging player. One of the best games that I've seen Spargo play. And we saw then that he was a fair way back, and he's had to run a long way to follow that through all the way up after that kick looked like it was from McRae. And by pushing up, he's also received that crumb. It's a very good play by Spargo.
Really lined it up with great surety.
The persistence of North Melbourne's paid off.
They're looking good. They've tackled beautifully all night. Mossop's been a fighter. So's this one, young Robertson. Played a splendid first term. And the match is slipping away from Essendon. They've got the Brisbane Bears next week, so if they'd won this one, they would have pushed themselves right back into final 5 calculations. But what a shocking season it's been for this side that still looks to be talented. Bad tackle by Wallace. He's given a few bad tackles tonight, but maybe he'll get away with this one. Ball held to McRae as the verdict. Jason Love waiting to go on the ground.
No obvious North player coming off at this stage. Mossop wins, jumps down to the middle of the pack to Robertson. Thumped out by Walsh, but only as far as Jonas. Oh, they're fighting with each other for the ball. Francis goes to Jonas again. The kick comes out wide to Larkin. Great spin. Oh, beautiful. All North here. McDonald right in front and about 20 metres out.
Well, you simply wouldn't see any football better than what Matthew Larkin executed then.
Well, this should be North's 5th goal for the quarter. The Bombers have managed just 1 goal too.
It's always got all the time in the world, Matthew Larkin. It was one of the things that always used to amaze me about Polly Farmer.
And from just his 3rd kick for the night, Donald McDonald gets his 1st goal. And North really burying Essendon at the moment.
And he's coming off the ground for Jason Love. But you can remember, Doug, when Polly first came across, it was just amazing. He used to grab the ball out of the air, and everyone saw he was mesmerised. He seemed to have all the time in the world to hand pass or feign a hand pass, dodge and weave. And Matthew Larkin's one of those players who just always seems to be in control.
Yes, well, I think right throughout sport, the players who have a lot of time in cricket, golf or anything always look to be the good ones. And here it goes, Essendon in attack. A beautiful steal, an absolutely thrilling last quarter, and a thrilling game from this one. Larkin's kick out wide to Phil Cracker. Phil Cracker outmanoeuvres Hurd, steadies and kicks it back looking for Jonas. Jonas with the ball, got time to hook it for goal and hooks it through. Oh, they're killing them. Brilliant football, North Melbourne.
And 2 goals to Jonas, and this has been a great lift for his confidence this final quarter. His first game for the year. It's taken him quite a while to get into the game, because he did struggle for those first 3 quarters on and off the ground, but set up by, need we say, Matthew Larkin once more. Good ball control and selfish play here by Phil, who just chips it back. And Peter just lifting his confidence here in the last quarter, the 24-minute mark.
And North have kicked their last 5 goals straight. And it's easily the biggest margin for the night. McRae out to Smith, and there could be more goals yet. 24 and a half minutes gone in the last quarter. Crocker's been great. Bounces through the pack and goes to Thompson. Izard measures off the hand pass to Williams, through centre half back and long to half forward. Thumped down by North. It's been a great combined effort from back line to forward line. And Harris has played a top game.
Yes, I think that was Harris again, wasn't it, with that huge leap? Oh, gosh, he's spectacular. It'd be hard to play against when they jump all over the top if you like that. He really is a big, high, spectacular and reckless leaker. He's not worried about his own personal safety. Izard was going to run off with that. But the umpire says no, advantage rule is not to be played, and the free kick comes back to Madden. Out to Keane. No, it's a bit further out than Keane. It's on to Clark. Clark downfield towards centre half forward. Oh, he's done it again with wonderful juggling mark by Harris. That's his 7th mark in these very difficult conditions. He thumps it out in the Simon Madden direction. Crocker outmanoeuvres Madden. He's played beautifully, this young fellow. Out it goes to Spargo, another good one. Spargo back looking for Crocker, and Crocker quickly downfield. They're killing them to Love. Love now steadies, breaks a tackle, beats another one. He loves a goal, has a shot downfield. In front is Cracker, and he's going to win it is Phil Cracker. Hurd goes over the top of him, and eventually it's saved by Cunningham, and Cunningham kicks it out wide, looking there for Wallace.
And a one-out duel. Oh, that's beautifully taken away by McRae, who gets rid of the hand pass to Robertson. Difficult one to mark this. Coming from behind. Oh, you get a second chance, German. Kicks it straight into Walsh. And now Francis, looking dog-tired at the moment, the Bombers. Francis kicked back to centre wing. Hickey.
Taking a couple of good strong ones as young Hickey. Really strong marks. Here's a strong man too, number 13, John Law, vice captain. E for effort in everything he does. Tries the spiral torpedo. Up above there was Madden, picked up eventually by Folds. Crocker again with a superb leap over the top of his opponent. And I wouldn't like to pick who's been the best of them all, Kev. And a lovely pass. Well, Peter Jonas is having a delightful last quarter there.
Crocker's played a great last quarter too.
Super. Absolutely superb. Well, Jonas has got the chance again. His 11th possession. He's kicked a couple of goals, both in this term. And everybody wishes him well because he's had such a cruel run through injuries. Those two broken legs we mentioned were both in the same spot. After he thought it had healed up, it was within a centimetre of with the second break. And he's done it again. Or did he just miss this one? He just missed.
Yeah, it's a bit like Mark Harvey of Essendon, the same sort of trouble that Peter Jonas had in his first year with North Melbourne.
There's Winton kicking out. Big pack comes to the back. Larkin gets one in the back from Hawker. High in the back, whatever you like. Free kick. And he'll definitely play in the state team against WA.
Got a fair chance, isn't he? Yeah.
There might be some others who played against South Australia who mightn't get another one, but Matthew Larkin certainly will. Here's a kick along the boundary line and going out just short of centre wing. We've played 28 minutes in the last quarter, and North in this last term have kicked 6 goals too, and Essendon have managed just 1-2.
Well, if I was John Kennedy, I'd be hoping he wouldn't be selected, of course. Give him a bit of a rest, but he will be. There's Madden down. Here comes number 9 again. He's had back to Madden. Madden's kick is not good. He's been a good player, Clark, particularly on the forward line. Long one out wide to Hawker. Hawker tries a short one to Danaher. Whoa! Gee, that was a bit naughty, Mr. Steele. Into Captain Danaher, and nearly ran through him. He's just so enthusiastic, this number 7, Darren Steele, at the moment, but that really would have hurt a bit. Danaher's had a bruising night, Kev.
Well, he took that heavy bump from Ross Smith early. And
shoots for goal. It's Terry, who is one of the very good kicks. And he goes back and claps his teammates. He's willing to take any sort of punishment if he can kick a goal for his side, but it's far too late for the captain and for the side. And it's disappointing, I think, Kev, for Essendon. They've folded.
Yes, and it's amazing if you look back over a game, maybe there's one passage of play that could turn a game. And when Clark ran in and gave that long hand pass to Madden, who was virtually in the goal square, and the hand pass didn't quite hit him on the chest, it bounced onto the ground. If Essendon had have kicked that goal, maybe it could have been the start of a run, because they would have only possibly been a couple of points down at that particular stage. But since then, North Melbourne have absolutely slaughtered them.
Law to Spargo and back to Law. And this is one out in the goal square. Phil Cracker. And thumped to the back by Hurd, who's kept Fabulous Phil pretty well out of the game.
Really, he's a very strong player. Made his fame, really, when he put Dipper and Dacos out of business in 2 successive finals. And then Russell Green was the next one. He had a magnificent final series as the perfect stopper. Here comes Hawker. There goes the siren. And I wouldn't like to be an Essendon player at this stage. There'll be a blast from the past when they walk into the room. North Melbourne thrashed them 15-10. 100 points, defeating Essendon 9-10.